Evening, gang. It's Thursday night. How lovely to be back. There we are. Thursday, the 2nd of September, 2021. A very good evening to you, and welcome to Thursday night's United Kingdom Talk. So nice to be back, gang. I take it you could hear that music then, actually. I couldn't hear it for some reason. Sorry. I couldn't hear it for some reason. I think I've not put a plug in or made some sort of a strange adjustment that we have to make. But there we are. I'm sure you heard that. Good evening. Computer fixed? Yeah, it's like having a new machine. It's seriously like having a new machine. So what was wrong with it? When I took it in and I took it into the shop, he plugged it in and it worked. And said, sometimes that happens, unplug it, leave it for 10 minutes, then plug it in again. And he started going on about something technical. I can't remember what he said now. But nevertheless, that was it. And while it was there, I sort of said to him, you might as well change the hard drive while you're here. And I've got a solid state hard drive now, and the old one is here. There we are. Old mechanical hard drive, which he said I didn't have to do. He said, but if you do it, it will be faster. There's the old hard drive there with all the information. So I'll use that now as a storage device, you know. So I had that done, brought it back here, and I plugged it in, and it still wouldn't start up. So cut a long story short, which I'm not known for doing, as you well know. Cut a long story short, I took it back in. He took it apart and decided it was actually the video card that was the problem. It was making funny noises, zzz, 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 like it was going. And that was on Thursday. Then it was Friday, and then of course we had the bank holiday, which was Monday. But Tuesday morning, he gave me a ring. He says, all done for you, come and collect it. Total cost of repair was £51, which I thought is very, very reasonable. And the shop, if you're in sort of near my area here in Bracknell, Slough, Reading sort of way, the shop is called Sibit, S-I-B-I-T. He's done a few jobs for me now. He never takes longer than it would normally take unless he's waiting for a part, and he's never ripped me off. And these people are like gold dust, aren't they, these days? Don't you think so? You know, looking for someone who does a job and doesn't rip you off. I mean, it's easier up in Lincolnshire, to be honest. I'd never been ripped off in Lincolnshire for anything that I've ever done. You know, I've had stuff done in the car. How much is that? Oh, is it catty? Yeah, just give us 40 quid. It's a bit like that. You know what I mean? Up there. But down here, it's so easy to get ripped off, whether it's window cleaning or car repairs or something like that. People rip you off, and he does not rip you off. I'm really pleased with the repair there. And of course, the machine is much faster now. It's like having a new computer. So new video card, new hard drive in there. The only original parts now, of course, is the memory sticks and the masterboard in there. You know, the master card in there. What's it called? The main card, the big thing in there that everything plugs into. That's the only original parts in there. That computer's already 7 years old. So if I get another 7 years out of that for £51, fantastic news. The total cost was 153, but that's only because I had the hard drive updated. And that replaced, which I didn't have to do. That was amazing, right? Because I've done that with something before, and copying the hard drive. Don't need to do that when you take that into him. He's got this machine, and he takes out the old hard drive, which I just showed you, this thing here. Takes out the old hard drive, there it is, right? Pops it into this machine. Then he gets the new hard drive and pops that into another slot on the machine, pushes a button, and it copies exactly what's on there onto the new hard drive. It's very clever. And then when he plugs it all back in together, you plug it in, turn it on, and it's as if you've got the old stuff in there, except you haven't. It's all new, and everything is exactly as it was. And when I brought it home here and plugged it in, once it had been completely fixed, turned it on, I haven't had to do anything. Everything is exactly in the same place as it was, except the sound. And for some reason, I wasn't getting my sound out to hear the music that we're hearing there. So, well pleased about that. Good evening. Do you like it? Do you like that? Look, new backdrop. Let me move aside. In the jungle, so we have a bit of echo on there. Where's my echo button? Echo button. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the light. Can you hear that or not? Or maybe I've got to push a button there. I can't remember now. In the Hello? maybe. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Ah, wumba, 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 wum. Ah, bum, bum, away. Look at this. Do you want a better look? Here, let me get out of the way. Look at that, eh? Yes! I told you you'd like it. Isn't it fabulous? My new backdrop, I took the opportunity of doing a few little bits and pieces round here while I couldn't... sorry, I've got the blooming echo still on, haven't I? A few bits and pieces round here while I couldn't do the shows. And that's one of them. I'm really pleased with that. I'm over the moon with that, and you'll see that right up to Christmas and probably beyond. I can see us sticking with that one for some time. No doubt there'll be a few sarky comments on the text or something like that, but I hope you like the new backdrop. The old one... my very good friend DJ Chris, while we were doing the other shows, said to me one day, he said, I love your new backdrop. Now, that last backdrop, it was either like it or don't. You know, there were a few people that really didn't like that. Really, really didn't like it. And that's why it was only up for a couple of months. Okay? And that thing. But he really liked it. I said, it's yours, Chris. You have it. He said, really? I said, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. He's given me loads of stuff recently over the last year and a half or so. Stuff that he upgrades. He likes to upgrade his stuff. He's not like me. You know, he likes the new thing. Not the new... I mean, he doesn't buy something just because it's newer. But if it's got something that the previous version didn't have, I don't know, like facial recognition on a phone, right? Then, I like that fit, then he'll upgrade. But he, like me, he doesn't sell his old stuff on eBay, right? Sometimes it can be too much hassle dealing with people who tell you that it hasn't arrived. You know damn well the item has arrived, and then they try and get the money back on eBay, and sometimes eBay agree with them, and they lose the money. So he can't be bothered. So he literally gives stuff away, and he's given me some lovely stuff. Really, really lovely stuff, which I'm truly grateful for. The least I can do is give him something that he took a fancy to, which was the backdrop. And I think he's going to put it up somewhere in his house, and we'll get a photo of it or something like that. All right. If you're in the chat box and you're trying to talk to me, I'm afraid I don't see any of those messages. I'm not in the chat box. Those of you that are regulars in the chat box, if you see anyone talking to me in there, can you just prod them a little bit and tell them he's not in the chat box? If you want to join into the show, either send us a text up there, top left hand corner, 07451 287 337 is my text number, 07451 287 337, or you can send an email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right, Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. In the show today, we'll be having a raffle. All your tickets are here. That's 2 weeks worth of tickets actually in there. All right, all your tickets in there, and someone tonight is going to win not one but two of my shiny stickers. There we go. You get two of those tonight. Yeah, to stick on your toilet walls or somewhere like that. Perhaps you've got a dartboard standing by, perhaps, something like that, okay? That's what we'll be giving away at some point between now and the end of the show, whenever that is. I'm a little bit hot in here. Let me just turn that down, the old air conditioning down a little bit, and that's fine. Okay, so I'll come to your text messages in a moment. I do hope you liked the new backdrop. It wasn't very expensive. I think that was about 20 quid. They all come from China. Oh, China! They all come from China, my backdrops, and they're dirt cheap, honestly. Sometimes they take 2 or 3 weeks to arrive, but generally they're fairly good quality. The actual material is quite thin, believe it or not, and you can't... I discovered this a couple of years ago. You can't just pin it over the old one because the old one starts showing through. So actually behind that, and you can see this better on here. Where are we? Let's try that one. Yes, you can. Can you see at the end? You can see the blue. Yeah, you can see blue there, can't you? Okay. Is it? Which one are you on? Are you on there? No, you're on there, aren't you? Yeah. You can see the blue, sort of right at the end there. That's just a sheet basically, and it stops the kind of texture of the wall showing through. That works a lot better. It all has to be ironed on the wall as well. I think I saw a little line that I hadn't quite ironed out somewhere, but I don't think you can see it, can you? So we'll probably leave that alone. All right, just that first story on there today. Did you see the snake? Did you see the snake? You missed the snake? Oh, well, let me show you the snake. There it is. Evil thing. Look at this thing. evil. Trust in me. You see, it's the same subject as the new backdrop, isn't it? There you go. Look, with Jungle. That's a good story to start with, then, isn't it? See how it all fits together? It's just like being on Radio 2 without the £250 million that Zoe Ball gets, isn't it? But that's a nasty-looking thing. The story was in the Daily Star about a week or so ago. Bites from snakes kill more than 100,000 people every year. That's not here in the UK. That's other parts of the world. We're very lucky here. We don't have too many wild animals roaming the place, do we? It says, one chef preparing a rare delicacy thought he was safe having cut its head off, but he got bitten. Oh, yes. Now, what sort of meal could you have at? So, I mean, what do they do? Snake burgers? Oh, you know what that is, don't you? I've just found my mince. Great niece Evie loves these. I have to hide these from her when I go round. That and the mobile phone. Oh, they take great pleasure in hiding your mobile phone around my nephew's house. Why? What's all that about, girls and boys? Why do you like holding older people's phones? Outrageous. Anyway, soups, this is in the Daily Star, made with the flesh of deadly spitting cobras. Trust in me. I've got forked tongue, like a snake. Soups made with the flesh of deadly spitting cobras are considered a rare delicacy in South China. Anyone had one of these? But preparing it turned out to be a fatal move for one chef. Peng Fan from Foshan was proud to have it on his menu and was preparing the dish for diners when an unusual tragedy happened. Tragedy, da 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 da, tragedy, da 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 da. You're going your way, ba da 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 da. Steps dance there. I can do all the steps dances. Oh, do you like the new song from Steps? Incidentally, The Slightest Touch. I played it a couple of times this week on the radio show in the morning. Wonderful. The slightest touch, and I am creaming with desire. I might have got the words wrong with that. Don't know. The Slightest Touch, of course, originally done by 5 Star. Steps have got that out now. Very good. And they've raved it up a bit. Talking of raving, I've only found what is probably the only picture of me out raving in the 90s. Do you want a quick look? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to ask for some likes for that. I don't know how many people are watching tonight, but that's got to be worth 27 likes. 27 likes, and I will show you a picture of me raving in a nightclub. It's got to be the only one I've ever found. It's just sitting there when I was preparing the show. I didn't even know it was there. If you want to see that, 27, that's really high. We won't get to that. I might save it for a special occasion. Unless we get 27 likes. So 27 likes and I show you the picture of me raving, okay? Back to this story then about the snake which bit someone. He's dead. He's dead. The bloke's dead. Peng Fan was proud to have it on this menu, this snake menu thing, and was preparing the dish for diners when a tragedy happened, having decapitated the Indo-Chinese spitting cobra. Dirty things. Spitting at people. I don't care if you are a snake. Don't go spitting at people. I was in the town centre the other day with my mate. We went to Greg's. We had the bean and sausage cheese vegan melt. And as we're walking back to the car, right, this dirty peasant type person went and spat. Okay, fair enough, it was in a bush. But nevertheless, it's not a good look, is it? Why do people think it's perfectly all right to spit in public? Dirty peasant-type people, darling. Awful. Ryanair flyers. Audi shoppers, that's who they are, darling. It's awful. Awful. Anyway, having decapitated the Indo-Chinese spitting cobra, he spent 20 minutes making the soup, then started tidying the kitchen. He picked up the head to throw it in the bin when it bit him. Yes! I wonder if anyone got bit in the 16th and 1700s, right? When they used to cut people's heads off. Well, they still do it in some countries. Don't go to Afghanistan on holiday, darling. Those Taliban will have your heads off, darling. She had one of them on the telly the other morning. Susanna Reid. They were interviewing a Taliban member. on there. I don't want my head to be cut off. But if you did, could you bite someone afterwards? Just like a cobra spitting, whatever it is, an Indo-Chinese cobra spitting snake. Nasty. Having decapitated, he got it bit. He got bit. The venom from the spitting cobra is particularly nasty stuff. It contains neurotoxins. Oh, what a way to go. Neurotoxins. I bet you start shaking. Do you start shaking? Don't know how you go. It contains neurotoxins which can kill within 30 minutes, paralysing the victims and suffocating them to death. Oh, they've got it all in China. Coronavirus, spitting cobras, the lot. And if you don't get done by that, you're likely to be shot for dropping a cigarette end on the floor. Good. It's a shame we don't have that here. Then I wouldn't have any rubbish to pick up. Disgusting people dropping their rubbish everywhere. Anyway, anti-venom is available but must be taken quickly. A restaurant guest said, we were in a restaurant having a meal for my wife's birthday when suddenly there was a lot of commotion. I mean, there's a picture of this thing here. Of this soup. Oh, it looks absolutely vile. Honestly, I'm not being funny. You know, each and every one to their own. Different people in different countries. I understand that. Have different meals. But, I mean, would you eat that? Horrible. There's this girl, actually, on TikTok. I can't think of her name now. And she eats the most weird things. Some of them raw. So I remember I seeing her. She had this plate full of little crabs. And she started pouring this sauce over. It must be some sort of chili sauce or something. And these bloody crabs started jumping off the plate. Which she found very funny. Until she got splashed with her own sauce. Good. She tried to eat this octopus. Well, the thing was still alive. And she went to bite into it, and its tentacles caught all over her face and wouldn't let go. Good. Oh, it's horrible. They eat some funny stuff in China. Not my cup of tea, dear. I mean, can you even get a pot noodle over there, I wonder? The story says we didn't know what was happening, but we could hear screams coming from the kitchen. Ah! Ah! Screams coming from the kitchen. There were calls for a doctor in the restaurant, but unfortunately, by the time medical assistants arrived, the man was already dead. Well, what a way to go. Bitten by your own dinner. You be careful in future when you're cutting up a poor little lamb or something like that. It might bite back. That snake did. Awful. He said there were calls for a doctor in the restaurant, but unfortunately, by the time medical assistants arrived, the man had already died. After we heard that, we didn't continue with our meal. Why not? Why not? What a waste of food. Terrible people wasting food, you see. Dreadful. We didn't know what was happening. He says, a police spokesman said it's a highly unusual case, but it appears to be just an accident. Mr. Fan had a very severe reaction to the bite, and only the anti-venom could have helped, but this was not given in time. It's just awful thing. What a dreadful thing to happen, dear. But there you go. You beware of that. If you cut the head off a snake, that's what might happen to you. Ooh, eating snakes and things like that. I can't think what the name of that girl is on TikTok. I think she's on YouTube as well. She just eats the most strange things ever. Anyway, let's read some of your messages. We'll be opening phone lines a little bit later on today, boys and girls. Okay, not quite yet, so hang around for that. Good evening on the text message service to Mr. Jeff Burley. Good evening, Jeff. Hello to you, sir. He is now my ex-caravan neighbour. Yes, he sold his caravan and the new people have moved in now, I think. And Jeff says, hi, Chris. Hope you're well. Very well, thank you, Jeff. It's nice to be back. Not got round to watching your instructional video on how to cut the lawn yet. Oh, please do watch it. Yes, do watch that. Yeah, you might be able to pick up one or two tips on there, Jeff. Always pleased to help people. You know me. You know me. You know, I've heard that all over the world, Amazon they've had a run on bird feeding equipment because people have watched my shows. Amazing, isn't it? You know, I'm not you know, big about that. I don't big up that at all, but it's a nice thing to be able to help people. people perhaps not quite as good as me at cutting the lawn, but there's a lovely lawn cutting video, which I think is directly underneath this one, all right? If you want to find that there, thank you. Jeff says, it's every time I reach for the remote, I dissolve into a fit of giggles, thinking about the two of you erecting the... Don't usually use that sort of word on here, Jeff, please. This is a family programme, darling. There are young people watching and you use naughty words like that, Jeff. I'm very, very disappointed in you. Very, very disappointed. Jeff says, every time I think about the two of you erecting the bird feeding station, honestly, it's funny as the Laurel and Hardy film when they renovated the fishing boat. Oh, how much do we miss Laurel and Hardy? Da 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 da. Oh, Laurel and Hardy, they were great. Did you see the Laurel and Hardy film that was out recently of their life? Oh, it was great. It was great. And really sad when Laurel died and in the bed and all that. Anyway, nearly as funny. It's as funny as the Laurel and Hardy film when they renovated the fishing boat. Just love your style with a hammer. When I nod my head, you hit it. Springs to mind. When I nod my head, you hit it, springs to mind. Keep them coming, mate. You know, they say laughter is the best medicine. Well, you say that, Jeff, unless you're diabetic, in which case I think you'll find insulin works a lot better than laughter. Don't go anywhere without your insulin, my darling. That nice little... insulin needles, they're tiny, aren't they, like that? Not like the dentist. What is it with dentists? I'm just going to give you a little prick in your mouth, and this needle comes out like this. It's got to be 6 foot long, this needle. Is it so dangerous that they've got to stand away from the tip of the needle injecting this stuff into your mouth? How poisonous is that stuff? And then you sit there for 10 minutes and then he does his work, right? Which is, admittedly is pretty painless. I think a lot of it's in your head once you've had the injections. But then you come out and your mouth is sticking out like that, innit? And they do say, if you have anything to eat now, be very careful. And then usually, because the dentist, I've got to tell you, my dentist, Smileways, what's his name? Mo the dentist, Lithuania. What sort of country is that, Lithuania? They ain't even got a proper name. You can't even say it properly. Lithuania. What a stupid name for country. Lithuania. They're very good looking in Lithuania, aren't they? Mo the dentist is reasonably good looking, I must say. And he bends over you and he's doing things in your mouth. And you come out of there and then it's very near Greg's, you see. So I'll come out of there. Well, I've been very good in the dentist. No, everything's been done. I'm now going to have a Greg's vegan sausage roll. I go in there, if you've... Actually, he hasn't done any fillings there at all, actually. The last time I had fillings, I was going to the private dentist. That's a few years ago now. I told you about him, didn't I, Jeff? For years I went to this private dentist and on every single occasion, bar once, there was work to do. Oh, that filling really needs doing. Okay, we can do that now. Thanks very much. That's another £80. And I must have been spending £800 a year going to him. Seriously. I've learnt from that. I've really learnt from this. This is an NHS one. £20, £21. I don't know what it is now for the checkup. That's it. All done. All done. Never finds any work to do. He says you've got good teeth and you look after them. And he said the other day, you also have managed to stop your gums receding. He said you've done that with floss and all that, the way you brush your teeth. Well done. I got a little pat on the head, not my bum, unfortunately, just my head. A little pat on the head like that. Anyway, So if I was to have an injection in the mouth, I could just see myself trying to eat this Greg's now. And as you're coming out after that injection, your mouth's like that, and you're dribbling, aren't you? But you don't know about it until it hits the jacket. Excuse me, mate, there's something coming out of your mouth. It's like coming out of a room at Chariots, it really is. Thank you, Jeff. Good evening to George Bond. Evening, George, who likes the backdrop. Yes, thank you, George. I'm glad you like it there. Shania's there. Good evening. Shania's loving the new backdrop. Thank you, Shania's on the Isle of Wight. Do you think it'd be quite a nice thing to have in church, Shania? Like a stained glass window of animals? Maybe not those animals. Animals from the crib. Like donkeys. What was it? Donkeys. And there was a lambs. Donkeys, lambs. Was there something? What was the other thing? Was it parrots? You know, was it parrots at the baby Jesus' birth? Was it parrots and donkeys and sheep or lambs? I can't remember. There was another animal, wasn't there? Donkeys. Oh, let me get. I mean, I have my Christmas figurine somewhere. Where is it, dear? I think it's downstairs. I always have a little crib at Christmas on my mantelpiece. It's not a real mantelpiece. It's like a wooden thing, you know. We can't afford to have marble in this house, believe me, dear. I mean, I know you're going to find this difficult to believe, what with my star-like stature, you know. But in the kitchen, can you believe that the worktop is not granite? That shocked some of you, isn't it? I don't have a granite worktop. It's like a wood chip type thing with some sort of plastic on the top. Mind you, 25, 26 years old now, still works perfectly all right. Why do we need a bit of granite? I mean, you could do it on the cheap, I suppose. What I could do is put on top of that wooden surface paving slabs, and I could say that's kind of like granite, isn't it? Maybe you could paint some sort of shining, see-through shining stuff, or I could put pictures underneath it of me, preferably. Couldn't I? I could put pictures underneath it. I do have a picture of me raving to show you tonight, which literally appeared moments before the show was going to start. If you'd like to see that, I require 27 likes for that. I'm not going to beg. I'm not someone who begs. The only person I would be begging to would be the delightful Mark Bowles. I'm not quite sure if he's with us tonight. He was bitterly disappointed that we didn't have a show over the last few days. But there we are, Mark Bowles. There's someone I would happily get down on my knees to. And beg for hand in marriage. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, George. Good evening to Diane Jebb. Evening, Diane. She loving the new background. Thank you, Diane. Johnny F is in the house. Johnny F is in the house. He was on the radio this morning, just before me. Great show. Very lively and entertaining. Very friendly. That's what I tried to be in the morning. Friendly. And Johnny's the same as me. He has reserved his ABBA tickets already. Do you know about this? ABBA are back. ABBA are back. They made an announcement on the telly, and the story here from the BBC News website. Can you believe that? They still allow me to see that on the BBC website. Pop legends ABBA have surprised and delighted fans by announcing their first studio album for 40 years. There's a new album. I said that to you, didn't I? I said that to you the other day on the radio. I said to you, I think it's an album cover. Voyage. And it is. It's an album cover, but that's not all. They've got a little show coming up as well, which is not exactly a show as you would think it is. Let me read you the story off the BBC website. Abba Voyage, is it Voyage? Voyage, isn't it? Abba Voyage will be released in November before a revolutionary set of concerts where virtual avatars will play hits like Mamma Mia and Waterloo. And it's all very technical. It's all very clever. They couldn't have done this a few years ago. I was watching it on the telly tonight. The quartet, who split up in 1982, said they ended up back in the recording studio while working on the stage show. At first it was just 2 songs, and then we said, well, maybe we should do a few others, said Benny Anderson. In the end, they recorded 10 tracks, 2 of which were premiered during a globally streamed press conference earlier on today. And I have to tell you, I have now heard the 2 songs. The first one was I Still Have Faith in You, which is a ballad. That's a bit of a ballad. It's lovely. It's lovely. It's lovely. And I sat there enjoying it. And, you know, I didn't have to be told that that was an ABBA song. You can just hear it. You can just hear it. And I've got to tell you, if you can't hear it and that, they've immediately released 2 songs, now available for streaming as in now. I'll play them both tomorrow morning, okay? The first, I Still Have Faith in You, an affectionate piano ballad portraying the bond the 4 band members share. Of course, they were married at one point as well, weren't they? You know, they're all married, but that didn't quite work out. But that doesn't matter, does it? When Benny played the melody, I just knew it had to be about us, said Beyond, explaining the song's origins. So that's wonderful. But the other track is my preferred one, Don't Shut Me Down. It's a mini melodrama in the vein of the ABBA classic The Day Before You Came, where a woman returns to her partner years after walking out. And that's the one. That's the one. Absolutely. And I put this on. It starts off slow and speeds up. But you could... I could have just played that on the radio. Or I could have just heard that on the radio. Right? And I would have known it was ABBA straight away. It just sounds like them. And as it went on... I had to FaceTime my sister. And I said, do you know what this is? And she said, no. That's ABBA. She knew straight away. They have a sound. And it still sounds like them. It does actually sound a little bit more updated, admittedly. It doesn't quite sound the same as the 70s. But it's unmistakably their sound that you just... can't hear it anywhere else. These little poppy bands and people like that, you hear them, and it could be Rihanna, could be Britney Spears, could be any of them. That could only be ABBA, who sounded like that on one of their songs they've just released. What was it called again? Don't Shut Me Down. And there were tears coming in my eyes. I'm so happy about that. So happy. So there you go. 2 songs for you, which I'll play tomorrow morning, or you can type them into YouTube. They're both on YouTube. My favourite is Don't Shut Me Down, and the ballad is called I Still Have Faith in You, which is just as nice. But my preferred one is Don't Shut Me Down. But it's going to be a virtual concert, and they've kind of gone in this like machine and made themselves look young again. And that's how the concert's going to be. It would be very interesting. I haven't bought tickets, unlike Johnny F, who's already reserved his ABBA tickets. So I'll have a look at that. Although it might be too late for me now. Perhaps I should have done it earlier. But I will have a look at that. Thank you very much, Johnny. Thank you, Johnny. Gary Ross is in the house. Good evening, Gary. Says, hope he didn't wipe the personal video from the hard drive of you and Mark. Oh, I never thought about that. I expect he would. I expect if you work in a computer shop, you must see sites, mustn't you, from people's hard drives? Naughty sites. And, of course, nasty stuff as well. I would imagine they see nasty stuff, I would guess. Oh, I've just had a deja vu. This has happened before. Do you know what I mean? Do you ever have that? They must see nasty stuff as well, which presumably they would report immediately to the police, I suppose. That's how that works. But they would see all the sort of... Could you call it? I suppose you can call it normal, can't you? Yeah, normal stuff which people look at on the internet. You would see everything on there because they ask for your password. What's your password, please? So I tell them, 2276, and then they write that down on a form, and then they fix it. And he always gives you the old hard drive, but of course someone could have looked at it there. The only other thing, you've got to be fairly trusting, I think, of people who work in computer shops, because quite apart from that, all your passwords and that can be stored on your browsers and things like that, can't they? Wouldn't have taken him 5 seconds really to load up, I don't know, not my bank stuff, because you have to put stuff in every time, but stuff like YouTube or my emails. He could have opened my browser, clicked on and read all my emails. He could have done that. And changed something. He could have gone onto my YouTube and changed the password. So when you hand over a computer to a computer shop, you've got to be fairly trusting of them, I think. Haven't you? And I do trust that man. I really do. He does a wonderful job. Wonderful job. He was telling me he has a bloke come in there who owns an IT company, big IT company, and he gets his computer fixed there because he doesn't trust his own staff. His personal computer. His IT staff, he doesn't trust them with his own computer, so he takes it to this bloke. He's got a really good business there. Good evening to Fran Green. Evening, Fran. Glad you like the new backdrop, Fran. Very good evening to you, my darling. Hello to John Parrish. Evening to you, who says, nice backdrop. Thank you very much, John. Yeah, I'm very pleased with that one. Thank you. Good evening to lovely Maureen. Evening, Maureen, who said, good evening, Chris. Happy to see the chat show back. I like the new backdrop. Lovely. It's very colourful, isn't it? We like colours. Evening to Sherry Parrish. Evening, Sherry. Hello to Chris and all your viewers. Glad to hear your voice. Just started my new job today. Yeah, what is it, Sherry? I did ask John earlier, but he didn't come back to me. What is your new job? You may have told me already. I've just forgotten, maybe. Evening, Sherry. What's your new job, love? Hello to Rachel Wheatland. Fantastic backdrop. Thank you, Rachel. Good evening to Rumble Bumble. Evening, Rumble Bumble. We miss you too, my darling. Thank you very much. And here we are in September. You know, it's just, you couldn't make it up. I'm looking at things to do now, further ahead now. And I've already got in 2 Christmas type things to do. Yeah, at Kew Gardens lights, which I booked a few months ago. If you want to go to that, I doubt there'll be any tickets left. You've got to do those things quick. They literally start selling the tickets, I think, in May, and you're straight on there to get tickets when they do all lights. You may have, those of you that have been with the show for some time, may remember I did go there before, and I did do a video of all the lights in Kew Gardens. They've also got one at Windsor. Windsor. Oh, where is it? Is it the castle? I think it's Windsor Castle or somewhere like that. They're doing a light thing there this Christmas. They now do these things all over the country. Right, I haven't booked that one yet. They do these things all over the country. Little lights that get like a stately home or something like that. And they light it all up with little pretty fairy lights and music and water for a couple of months around Christmas. And it's worth going. The beauty of that is there are so many of them over the country. But of course, everyone is slightly different. You know? Because every house is different. You don't get another Windsor Castle in, I don't know, in Norfolk, do you? But you'll have another castle in Norfolk that they could light up. Maybe there are some in Norfolk or where you are. So we might do that as well. One of the other things, and my mate's got this, he booked this the other day for both of us, is an LED train type thing. Seriously. It's an old steam train. I can't remember what it's called now, but it's an old steam train and it's all lit up in LEDs. I think it goes from Alton, Alton, and somewhere else, if I remember rightly. And he's booked tickets for that. I think they were £22 each. And you go on this train. I think it's a two-hour trip, and you can also order food on the train. But we saw the menu and. Wasn't all that, to be honest. The sandwiches, you can take your own stuff on the train anyway. So we might do some little. I'll have to get onto Maureen actually. Maureen, I might have to employ you to do the catering for us on that trip. But this little train, and it's surrounded by little flashing LED lights. Of course, the funny thing is, of course, when you're on the train, it's like, you know, when you go on the steam train at Whitby. You know, I've done that a couple of times. It's wonderful, wonderful. My nephew and his missus sorted that out. This train at Whitby, and you see the steam train, and it's all fantastic, and the steam's coming out. But once you're on it, of course, you can't see it. And it's a bit, you know, you're in like an old-fashioned carriage, but you can't see the thing that you've kind of paid for, if you see what I mean. But it's still nice to just be on these old, wonderful steam trains. I know Danny Woodhouse would love something like that, wouldn't you, Danny? But as you presumably you've been on a steam train once or twice, have you? Shania said it would be suitable for a Noah's Ark display. Yes, the animals went in 2 by 2. There's a lot of animals round here, dear, dropping the rubbish all over the place. The giraffes with the long heads. Well, they'd have to bend their heads when they got on the ark, wouldn't they? Thank you, Shania. Good evening to Paige. Hello to Paige. Likes the jacket. Thank you, Paige. Actually, I'm wearing this one on Tuesday, Paige. I don't know if you're coming to Olivia's funeral, which is on Tuesday. So, of course, no radio show or TV show, on a video show on Tuesday. Okay, my darling. So we've got Olivia's funeral, who was my great niece who died recently. So we're doing that on Tuesday. But, yeah, I'll be wearing this jacket. And I was asking my nephew's wife doesn't want any black. I mean, I said to her, do you want me to wear blue jeans or black trousers? She said, whatever you want. I don't think jeans. I mean, that is what she said, but I think I'd feel funny wearing jeans to a funeral. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just doesn't feel right for me. So I'll do black trousers and a shirt, and she's got me a purple tie to wear because that was Olivia's favourite colour, purple. So we've got that to do on Tuesday, and a little bit of a celebration of a very short life afterwards at the tea house in the woods in Woodall Spa. So that'd be quite nice, be a get together and talk about things. Thank you, Paige. I'm glad you like the jacket. Evening to Jason Hughes. Good evening to the lovely Mandy Davenport, who's always standing by to dish her pain and suffering if anyone misbehaves on this channel. Okay, evening to you, Mandy. She's loving the backdrop. Very Lion King. Oh, yeah. Oh, you should have said so earlier. Can you feel the love tonight? In the circle of life, it's a real beginning. I'm going to have a look to see if we get any likes in a minute. 27 likes, and I'll show you my picture of me when I was out dancing one night in the 90s, all right? And good evening to Christina. Hello to Christina. Hello. Christina Hunt in the house. A very good evening to you, my darling. Hope you're well, Christina. Thanks for your little message there. Johnny F says, I'm on the Abba Voyage site now. Do you want me to pre-reserve 2 tickets for you? As they let you do that also. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday or Saturday. Ooh. How much are they, Johnny? Does it say how much they are yet? Do you actually have to turn up there? How is that working? I don't know how that's working. The Abba Voyage site. Let me just try and do it. Oh, hang on a minute. I'll have an email link because I did join them there. Don't forget, you send an email if you want to, boys and girls. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. If you can't do the text, Abba Voyage. Here we go. Pre-order album. Listen to new music. Come on, where is it now? Did you pre-order the new album? Did you as well? Pre-order new album. Would that be a download type thing, would it? You see, I do all my stuff streaming like that, don't I? Talking to streaming, that's about to change for me. No, leave it, Johnny. I'll have a look later. Thank you very much for the offer there. Much appreciated you doing that, okay? I'm just going to clear down those messages because it's getting a little bit complicated there. 1 minute. There we go. I've done all your messages, incidentally, up to this point. All messages have been done, my darlings, so don't worry about that. Yes, the streaming is about to change for Spotify. Why? Because they want more money out of you. Now, I'm on Spotify Unlimited at the moment, which basically means I can only play the stuff either on my Amazon device, which happily plays Spotify, or on my main computer. I can't do it like mobile phone, so I do it on my desktop. And I've had that for some years now, £4.99 a month. Okay? And that's where all my new music comes from, Spotify. I don't actually stream. While I'm doing a show, I don't stream it. Well, sometimes I do. If I've not got the track, I just fire up Spotify and play it directly off that. But generally, I'll add the music, download it onto my hard drive. So I own the music, so to speak. £4.99 a month, and it's been the same now for years, that particular price. Well, they're about to stop it. They're about to stop that particular thing. And according to an email I received off Spotify, Spotify Unlimited I'm on, they are stopping that particular section on their website. But thank you, Johnny. £21 upwards. Okay, I'll have a look at that. Thank you. £21 upwards on this Spotify thing. Sorry, where am I going with that? £5.99 it was, Spotify Unlimited, right? That they're stopping that. And when it is stopped, and it said after your next billing cycle, you will revert to the free version, which is fine. But the free version, you get ads. Well, that's no good to me. I don't want ads playing while I'm listening to my music. So that's the free one. So the next one up from the £4.99 one is £9.99. God! An increase of £5. £5. So I'm going to have to pay £9.99 a month. You see? I knew it was always going to get expensive. You knew that. Once those streaming services had their foot right in the door, it'll start going up. And your choice is really Spotify, Apple, or Amazon Premium. And I think I'm right in saying that Amazon Premium is the slightly cheaper one. I think that's $7.99 a month if you've already got Amazon Prime. But I think the best one of them is probably Spotify, and I'm used to that. So I guess I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and upgrade to the £9.99 a month one. But I think that means I can play stuff on my mobile phone. Not that I ever would anyway, because I'm usually listening to Reach on Air when I'm in the car. You know, certainly Alan Ross usually when I'm driving up to the caravan, or whoever's on before him. But yes, it says in The Sun, the music streaming platform has confirmed plans also for a high-resolution audio tier, but hasn't revealed a specific launch date for that yet. So they're also going to do a high-resolution one. To be honest, to the average listener of music, and I would include myself in that, high-res, I wouldn't bother. It's for like audio files, And then the people, they spend an absolute fortune on their hi-fi system. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. They spend a fortune and they listen for what they consider to be absolute perfection in music. They wouldn't be coming to hear me play the piano, put it that way. They listen and they want the highest quality they can possibly get. Of course, years ago, you just bought the highest quality. When from records to CDs, you just had that high quality all the time. And then the streaming services came along and they separated. Well, if you want that, it's that price. If you want that, it's that price. Everyone's trying to upgrade all the time. Oh, do you want to upgrade that? No. It's like when you buy a car. Oh, Christ, don't they go on? Do you want this? No, I don't want it. I just want the car. Well, would you like us to put this on? No, don't want it. How about the special shiny stuff we put on the paint to stop it getting damaged? No, thank you. Just want the car, thank you. They can't sell me nothing extra. Never. But with Spotify, yes. It's going to be Spotify Hi-Fi and indicates that it's ready to launch. It says, here's a sneak peek at the coming, and it goes on with the story there. But they're going to have a Hi-Fi version as well. Let me see if I can find the email now. Is it in promotions? No. Is it in primary? Where are we? Oh, there we are. Spotify. There we go. We're reached. Oh, honestly, what have they typed out? It's the tiniest writing ever. God. We're reaching out to let you know we're closing the type of plan you're currently on, Spotify Unlimited. Your account won't change until your next expected billing date, which actually happened today. They took £5 from me today. But it doesn't seem to have changed yet. You will change to our free ad-supported service. You can see when this will happen for you under your plan in Spotify account overview. We're no longer offer Spotify Unlimited, but you can still subscribe to a premium plan. So the premium plan is individual. Now, you see, it says $9.99 a month, but it's not. It's £9.99 a month in this bloody country, isn't it? So that's costing us £2 or £3 more than it does in America. But you won't be able to subscribe in dollars. No, they know you're in the UK unless you've got one of those invisible IP things, whatever they're called, VIP type. I don't know what they're called now. $9.99 a month. Listen to music ad-free, play anywhere, even offline, on-demand playback. Or you can have, if you can find someone to do it with, they do a duo. 2 accounts, $12.99 a month, which is better. I wonder if my mate's got that. No, he's on Apple Music, he is. They do a family account, $15.99 a month. Or if you're a student, will I get away with a student one? Shania, are you still a student? $4.99 a month. But that's ad supported. You get ads on there and things like that, Yeah. Also on my one, I can block explicit music, music with loads of swear words on it. That's like greyed out, which is very handy indeed. Yes, thank you, Johnny. Tickets for ABBA from £21 going upwards. I'll have a look at that after the show. Thank you there. Evening to Gary. Ticket, please. We're not doing tickets yet, dear. God's sake, man. We're not doing tickets yet. Far too early, dear. Well, I say that. Sometimes I have done them at the beginning of the show, as you well know. I'm going to have a look at the likes in a minute. Sherry is now working as a part-time administrator and part-time finance staff. They're not sure what to do with me. It's nice to be busy. Absolutely, Sherry. It's absolutely nice to be busy. And besides, it gets you away from him. It can't be a pleasant experience having to put up with him all day, hanging around the house, dear, smelling. Oh, dear, no. I'm good on you, Sherry. Get out of the house, my love. All right? Shania is not a student anymore. She's taking more responsibilities at work from next week. Oh, what are you doing, Shania? Are you going to become a CEO? Is that... I don't even know what that stands for. Are you going to become a CEO? Thanks, Shania. Okay. How many likes did we get? 17. Unlucky. You won't be seeing my raving picture then. 17 likes. Nope, not showing it to you. Unlucky. Unlucky. Okay. We've got the raffle coming up a little bit later on the show tonight, gang. Sandwiches. Now, this story was about a week and a half ago. I've had it hanging around my system, but I want to bring it to you. You might have seen it already. Okay. I'm going to show you the absolute saddest sandwich you've ever seen in your life. It was purchased on a Ryanair flight for £4.70. Now, this has got to be the worst bacon sandwich you've ever seen in your life. A holidaymaker in the Sun has slammed the world's saddest bacon sandwich, which cost her £4.70 on a Ryanair flight. And she sent a picture, which her friend had ordered while she was on a flight. My pal Amy paid it's just £5.50. Oh, €5.50. What are they? Euros. What is that? What is that? €5.50 for this bacon sandwich. I'm trying to figure out if it qualifies as a bacon sandwich. She also jokingly said eating the sandwich with two very small bits of bacon, it was a very culinary experience. Ready? I mean, look at that. Ryanair flight. That is their idea of a bacon sandwich. You can't be serious. Look at it. I mean, they haven't even buttered the bread. There's no butter. Perhaps they give you a little sachet of tomato sauce to put on there. I don't know. That's horrendous. One viewer replied, the world's saddest looking sandwich. Another said, this looks like whoever was making it got a little peckish. Well, that does actually look like they've bitten a bit out of the sandwich, doesn't they? How awful. Another person tweeted, says, it's like a thought experiment and how far the concept of bacon sandwich can be whittled down to before the thing falls apart. I'm enjoying Ryanair's new role as avant-garde philosophers. Is that not the worst sandwich you've ever seen in your life? Awful. Amy said that while she had eaten the sandwich while adding some kind of words for the flight crew. Amy wrote, I also had a lovely flight and the cabin crew were class. She wrote, I just found the sandwich humorous and slightly overpriced. She said, seriously? Nearly £5 for that? Awful. Awful. Anyway, there we are. That's the world's saddest ever looking bacon sandwich. I would have sent it back. I would have absolutely sent her back, wouldn't you? Nearly £5 for that. There's Reese. Good evening, Reese. Evening to you, Reese. Evening, Reese. He said, good evening, Chris. Sorry I'm late. Was eating my dinner. That sandwich looks disgusting with no butter and nowhere near enough bacon. Yeah, you're not telling me, mate. Awful, innit? Awful. I don't. I tend not to buy stuff from. I mean, to be honest, Starbucks is stuff. When you see what you get there, I mean, I don't think they do sandwiches like that. To be honest, it's fairly large sandwich, but they charge a fortune for their stuff. You know, there's a Starbucks attached to our Sainsbury's, which is up the road, and if you want a bit of cake in there, what you do is you go round Sainsbury's first, and you buy yourself a whole cake for like £1, like an angel cake, you know, that size. And then you sneak it into Starbucks where you buy your tea and have it there and keep it under the table in a bag. Or you can buy a small slither of cake in Starbucks for like £2.50. Don't think so, mate. Don't like being ripped off for food at all, thank you very much. Send your text 07451 287 337. We'll open the phone line as well now, gang, okay? Let's open that phone line just a minute. Wait for that to fire up. There you go. You can call in now if you want to. Phone line's open. 020 8144 3477 is my local London number. Now, of course, I haven't used this for a while, so the level might be a bit wrong. Hang on, should that button be pressed there? Yes, there we go. All right, so phone line open now as well. 020 8144 3477. Have you ever had a terrible sandwich from somewhere? You know, to be fair to Ryanair, I think you find that most of the time people don't. When you buy these sandwiches, a lot of the time they're not buttered anymore. Certainly not from Subway. They don't butter the rolls there, do they? Daniel's on the line in Essex. Good evening, Daniel.
Good evening, Chris.
Ah, yes, we can hear you nice and clear. Excellent. I wasn't sure whether that was going to work or not.
Well, yes, I thought I'd get you nice and quick tonight.
Nice of you. Very nice of you to be early, my darling. Very nice to be. It's always very important to be early, Daniel, as you well know. How can I help you with your inquiry? Thanks for calling.
I'd just like to say it's very great to have you back. We've seen, the life has been empty without you in the evenings.
Has it been very depressing? Did you get to the point of suicide at all or anything like that?
Oh, no, I've never, ever gone down that route. Whenever there's setbacks in life, I just look for the alternative.
So you didn't miss me that much then?
Well, yes, but, I just thought, well, no Chris
but
wins, so...
not
well,
enough
actually,
to sort of... You didn't miss me enough to sort of think to yourself that life isn't worth living anymore?
No, I couldn't dare go down that route. It's not right for me.
I don't feel
like I'd be missed. But we had a good time Tuesday night, though.
Eh?
Well, Tuesday night I found some new documentaries.
Oh yes, what was that?
There's one called The Gravy Train.
Oh yeah.
Where it looked at those night people down the underground when they're doing down the hole.
Yeah.
Most to be doing. Apparently, back about 20 years ago, they wasn't doing any work.
What were they doing?
They were getting down there, finding out that there was something that they needed and it hadn't been supplied. So they just the bloke would go, all right, come on then, we can go home then.
Oh. Oh well.
And then there was another one called Wagon Wheels.
Right.
Yeah, that was a documentary about an old train company called WAG, which was WAGN, West Anglia Great Northern Wagon.
I thought you were going to tell me it was a documentary of how they make those delightful chocolate wagon wheels.
No. I do get around to that eventually.
Go on.
No, it was one of those documentaries about where the boss
of
what was called then Prison Row.
Yeah.
And I know them very well. He didn't have a clue really what was going on in his own industry, so he decided, well, I'm going to spend a day actually pretending to be an employee,
right?
And I'll actually do the actual work and see what I have to work with customers.
Okay. Yeah.
But I knew Prison Rail very well.
Prison?
Not only Prison Rail.
Prison Rail?
No, Prism. Prism.
Prism.
Prism.
Okay.
Yeah, Prism, as in triangular prism.
Yes.
Rail. Because they also had our Fenchurch Street line down here.
Right.
And this was about the time when, if you've ever been on that line was notorious for outdated slam door trains, which I know you loved.
Yeah, but we loved those trains. I used to love slamming those big old heavy doors. You can't. I mean, obviously it wouldn't happen. Oh no, it might happen. I think if I was in one of those trains and I got stuck on a level crossing and an articulated lorry comes slamming into the side of the train, I think I'd be safe in one of those trains. Really heavy doors with those big metal locks you used to pull over to the side. Are they running anywhere, those trains now?
I don't think so.
Well, you are our train expert. I mean, what sort of answer's that? You should be there researching, dear. Researching. We have a team of researchers here. We got Maureen in charge of television and films. We got Vera in charge of, anything that needs to be researched. And I thought you were our train expert. Enthusiast.
Well, the trouble is, Chris, if I do research anything of not just a train or bus or general transport media, by the time I relay it to you, that information will probably be out of date by then, because the transport industry, it changes so quick.
Oh yes.
Things just changed so much.
Well, that can be your homework. Your homework is to find out whether those old slam door yes, they are. Of course they are. They're working on some of the steam lines. I think the one in Whitby is one of those.
Well,
I've got a feeling the Whitby one's one of those. The slam doors. I used to love them. Like, hearing that noise really brings back some memories, doesn't it to you?
Yeah, well, the thing is, what I can tell you about that Fenchurch Street line was this was about 1998 when privatisation came in and Prism Rail took over the line. And one of their first priorities was to get some train with sliding doors on it, some train somehow. And they realised that completely brand new trains would be a few years away.
Wow.
So what they did was they realised that from their other company, Wagon, WAGN, they realised that they've got so many Class 317 sliding door type trains on that line. So that what they did was to repaint them still in their old network Southeast red, white and blue, but they took the red out and replaced it with a green stripe and put them on the Fenchurch Street line.
Oh, right.
Just as a sort of thing, just to make people think, oh, something's happened.
See, sliding doors, they're for the underground, dear. They're underground train sliding doors. Those old district line ones. Oh, wonderful. Metal heavy doors and that bang as they came close together. I miss all that. They're so quiet now. And the other thing is, I think they made a boo-boo years ago when they stopped you being able to open the windows, especially with this coronavirus around. You can't actually open a window on a train because there's nothing to open now. It's all sealed. I mean, God knows what happens when the air conditioning breaks down. You're practically suffocating those things.
Yeah. Oh, you've been on one of them, have you?
Yes, I have.
The ones where you walk through from end to end.
That's right. Yeah. We have those going.
They're called S-Stock.
When I have to go to the hospital, when I go to the Royal Free, if I've gone by train, then I have to get a train from Richmond to Hampstead Heath. That's where it is, and that's where I get off the train, and that's like a long walk through. If I remember rightly, there's not even any doors. Am I right with that? I don't think the doors are closed.
You mean through the train, of course.
In between each carriage. I might be wrong. No,
yeah, if that's S-Stock, it's just a continuous walk through end to end. So that means if I wanted to go from Elm Park to East Ham and I just ended up having to board at the rear, I can be up the front for East Ham, get off straight away, dive through the barriers, and I go, yes!
Ah, there you are.
I got off before you.
Diving through the barriers? I hope owning a ticket.
Sorry?
I hope you own a ticket when you go through those barriers. You make it sound like you was illegally jumping barriers then.
Oh, Chris, I've always got one. It's called Disability Freedom Pass.
Oh, Christ, here we go. Here comes the disability thing now. Oh, can I go? Yeah. I've got a disability card. Can I go on there now, please? Oh, can I jump the queue, please? I've got a disability card.
It's true.
Why don't you get yourself a baby as well? They're always good at getting you at the front of queues. Push around a pushchair or something like that. I got a baggie.
Yeah.
Get on with it, dear.
I think our cousin Harry's got one of them, so I've heard they get.
Has he really?
They went to Disney. They went to Disney World Land a while ago.
Yes.
I think I was told that we had a car. They can just get straight up the front before. Because I know he must have the same as me. Overnight, I cannot stand in a completely what do you call it, open space, without having to go more towards the wall and having to lean on the wall because I'm going to fall over or something if I'm up for too long.
Well, Disney, they had to do something about that whole disabled thing because they discovered normal people with nothing wrong, would hire wheelchairs to get to the front of the queue and there was nothing wrong with them. That is a true fact, that is. They had to do, I don't know what they did, but they had to put a stop to something that was going on there. I mean, I don't know, whether you can't be expected to. Well, could you prove to me that you can't stand up? I mean, how would you do that?
Yeah, it's a difficult point because
it's wrong to do something. If you start dreadfully wrong. Now, you see, I'm of the opinion. If there is someone disabled and they need a wheelchair, fair enough. If there's someone disabled and they need a blue badge because they seriously can't walk from one end of the car park to the other, no problem with that at all. But there are people out there with blue badges and they may have a disability, but they can still walk with no problem from there to there, but they got a blue badge just because they're too bone-idle to walk from one end to the other. If you've got a proper disability, then absolutely should you have something like that. But they give it out to anyone who's entitled to it, right? Without actually checking And in my personal opinion of that is, unless you need to be next to the supermarket door, you should not have one of those blue badges just to save you the bit of effort of walking from A to B. There's plenty of them out there. Plenty of them out there.
Yeah. Not that I did, you worry. I lived right on top of them all.
Yes.
Really, I mean, poor old mum here in Elm Park. I mean, she has to get the bus to Allchurch.
Who's that?
For mum,
Your mum, yes.
Yeah, when she moved here over 30 years ago.
Right.
I remember actually even before the first day we actually came down to see this house.
Yes.
And I can remember walking from Elm Park Station down the road, 165 Titan, bus goes by. And I thought, oh, that's what we've got to put up with then. And all that walk down the, 15 minutes down there, about another 5 minutes walk round the actual end of this street. And I thought, oh my God, Mum, you really want to live here?
Why did she want to live there then? Probably to get far away from you as possible, I would imagine.
Well, it's not really work because she still comes up every Friday. So.
Well, it's not too much effort if she can get there, is it? I mean, she's got a house, you've got a house, someone's paying for that. Be a bit more bleeding grateful, that's what I say.
Of course I.
You sounded like one of the immigrants coming across the water now. Well, thanks for the house, but it's not good enough. Can we have something else, please? No, be grateful.
Yeah. Well, I just think of her. I just think where I am, right on top of every supermarket where she is. She has to get a bus. I mean, I could actually near enough. Asda.
Yes.
Them pound trolleys.
Pound in the... yes, so that people don't nick the trolley. Well, we don't have that round here. Nothing like that goes on round here. There's no trolley nicking goes on round here.
Always happens in Romford, I tell you. I think some
bet
of
it does, yes. Go on, you were saying the pound trolleys.
I think they've had sensors put in them. So that
sensors in the trolleys?
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, when you put that pound in,
yeah.
There's a bit of a box in it, isn't there?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that in that is a sensor.
Right. Well, are people nicking the trolleys now, are they?
Yeah, well, for someone like me, who might buy a bit too much, and then he realises once he's got it out of the supermarket, he goes, oh God, that's just pulled my bloody shoulder down. So you end up putting in one of these trolleys that's just been lying there by the bus stop or something, take it round the corner to where I live. About 2 days later, it's gone. And so I'm sure I was told this years ago that they put sensors in the trolleys, and then up there in the supermarket, there's someone with a computer, and they just go, have we got any trolleys around this area? And then it just goes up, boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah, there's trolleys. So they send a bloke out round the town to pick up any surplus trolleys that have been lying, because they know people do it. They know people get a bit a bit overloaded, and they end up see a trolley. They think, great, cart it home.
Well, that's okay. The cost of that person collecting the trolleys is just added to the food you're buying. That's no problem.
Probably, I suppose.
What do you mean, probably? Of course it is. You've got to pay staff to do that. They don't just pay it out of their profits. That'll be added onto the food.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Chris, what's this LED steam train you said about? It's not anything, not like that one in Blackpool, that Blackpool tram, is it?
I will have to ask. I will have to ask my LED. Hang on, LED train from Alton. Let's see if that brings it up. So, okay, it's called the Watercress line.
Sounds
Watercress. WATERCROSS. Here we go. Latest news. Steam illumination tickets now released. Okay, they've got dates 26th to 28th of November, December and January. It goes through the last day of the 2nd of January. So all through December, 3rd to 5th, 10th to 12th, 16 to 23 and 27 to 31. And it's just... and it's basically a steam train with loads of lights on it. I'll show a picture. I could just about get a sort of picture off it to show you there. Shania loves the Watercress line. She goes there often. Well, this is all illuminated. Right, hang on a minute. Let me get a picture of that. I'll put it on the screen. Can you see your screen from there or not?
All right, hang on. Let's get up from here.
It'll take a little while for you to see that because, of course, there's a sort of between 5 and 15 second delay from what you see the pictures.
Oh, I can actually see it right now.
Really? That was quick.
Yeah.
Well, it's only a 5-second delay tonight then. Good. There you go.
Yeah, that is
It's
quite
fabulous.
a good photo, actually.
Fabulous,
yeah, it
Daniel.
Looks like it's...
And will you be taking your mum
Where?
on the train?
What? Well,
Well, you don't sound like you want to. Eh?
Does it come into Waterloo?
Do what?
Does it come into Waterloo?
No, it doesn't come into Waterloo.
Oh.
It does. Trains depart from either Alton or Alresford. Alresford. I've never heard of that place. They depart from either Alresford or Alton and complete a round trip back to the starting station, wherever that is. Either one end or the other.
Chris.
Hey?
How do you fancy a trip on Illuminum?
Come back into the phone, dear. We can't hear you.
From Alton.
What?
It's about... When is it again?
Oh, well, there's various different dates starting on the 26th of November.
Oh,
I'll give you the website. Have you got a pen, Andy?
No, but we'll just play the show back and
right.
Can...
Watercressline.co.uk.
Yeah.
And you'll see it there. It's not just then. They are open the rest of the year doing different things. They do special days, family-friendly events, they do all sorts of things. But this particular Christmas version is all lit up with beautiful LEDs, and it'd be something rather wonderful to see. I'm sure it will, Daniel. All right? And take your mum. Two of you. You get a table for two. I think it was £46 or £48. Which I think is very reasonable for something like that. 24, 23 pound each, whatever it is. Something like that. A lovely thing to do for Christmas.
Yes.
And Shania's been on it. She says, I love the water. She's not been on the LED train, I don't think, but she has been on that. Yeah, so good luck.
All right, I'm getting it up now.
Good. Have a look there.
Oh, yeah.
You see it there?
Actually, I've just realised what it is. It actually reminds me of the Coca-Cola lorry.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yes, there is a little video to play, which if I can ask you not to play it because it might have music on it, which you can watch there, and presumably that was done last year or something like that. All right, Daniel.
Okay, Chris. Thanks
for calling in tonight. Nice to have you calling early there. Bye, Daniel.
Okay. All right.
Daniel in Romford for us tonight. Nice to hear his little voice there, my darlings. You know what? I think we should do the raffle. Get ready for the raffle. Meanwhile, I'll just read a couple of your messages first. Reese says he's got his own YouTube channel, incidentally, called Reese Cars YT. Reese Cars, RHYS, Reese Cars YT. He's a young lad and he's trying to start his YouTube channel, so have a little subscribe there and maybe support him there. He says, it was depressing not having you, but I decided to hang on as I knew you would hopefully be on soon. Yeah, well, everything's fixed, Reese. Everything's fixed. I didn't fix it. Someone else fixed it for me. Paul in Cornwall is there, who says, good evening. Can I ask you, where did you get your backdrop from? My wife was asking. A company called Joom. Joom. I'm just going to check that for you. Joom. Yeah, there it is. Joom.com. Joom.com. All right. And if you do a search there, where's the search box? Let's all categories. I can't find it now. It's tapestries. There's tapestry. Where's the blooming search on there then? Did have a search on there. Discounts, order details. Hang on, order details. My orders. Perhaps it's on my orders, is it? There we go. My orders. And that, was it? There it is. Oh, there it is there. Okay, they're £18 at the moment. Send me an email. Who was that? Who wants to know that? Paul in Cornwall. Send me an email now and I will send you a link to the item. Okay? Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Send an email now and I will send you a link to the item. They have different sizes. That's the largest size, 230 centimetres by 180 centimetres. They do have different sizes of that. So if you want the link to that, send me an email now, Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, and I'll send you the link so you can perhaps order one. £18 they are at the moment. Cheap, isn't it? Lovely for a child's bedroom as well, something like that, by the way, I think. Evening to Tony King. He loves the new backdrop. Thank you, Tony. Evening to Peter Lake. Hello to you. He enjoyed his bank holiday up in Woodall Spa. Thank you. Vera's in the house. Good evening, Vera, who is waiting at the moment for a bus at the moment from work. She's coming home. She's coming home at the end of the day. Daniel was just talking there, incidentally, about watching certain things on the internet. I've discovered a new YouTube channel, which I mentioned on the radio show this morning. You've got to watch this. It's hilarious. Bit of bad language in there. Basically, it's women who can't control their temper. Now, they are called Karens. I'm sorry if your name's Karen. That's just how it is. All right? They are called Karens. And the YouTube channel, and you will kill yourself laughing, is called Karens in the Wild. Karens in the Wild. Karens in the Wild. All right? And it's hilarious. There's one woman in there. She goes into this pizza place and starts shouting and screaming at the pizza. She don't want the pizza. She wants her money back. And anyway, there's some sort of conversation going in between the staff and her. And in the end, she picks up the pizza and just throws it at them like that in its box. And then walks out the store. Well, and then a member of staff goes out there and she's shouting and screaming at this member of the staff who then pushes her over. And then there's another one on there who gets chucked off an aeroplane. Oh, it's hilarious. So look out for that one on YouTube. Karens in the Wild is the YouTube channel on there. All right. Has Sparky emailed yet? No. Email me, Sparky, and I'll send you a link to that thing. Okay. Right. Let's do the raffle, shall we? It's raffle time, boys and girls. Did we get any more likes at all? 17 likes, 21 likes. I want another 6 likes and I'll show you a picture of me when I used to go raving. I've just happened to find it tonight. Only 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 more likes and I'll show that to you, okay? I won't do it unless I get 27 because I said 27. Never go back on your word. Oh, but you said 27. Once you've said something, you've got to stick to it. Oh, hang on. I think my elastic's come off. 1 minute. Just a minute now. Oh, Christ, it's come off in 2 places. 1 minute. There we are. Oh, no. What's happened now? Oh, this is a disaster. This is a disaster now. Hang on. That's come off there. Where's that go? It must go up there somewhere, does it? Oh, no. Oh, hang on. It might be that one there. Hang on. Is that it? That's it. Sorry. If the elastic, the mic can start bumping. See, really, these are not designed for this. They're designed to hang down, these. You know, really, I should have a little pointing thing at me like that, but I haven't got one of those. All right, we're going to do the raffle now. Someone's about to win 2 of these, you lucky things. Okay, let's just take that phone number down for a second or two so you can see properly. All your raffle tickets are here. Who's going to win today? Our 2... where's the lid to this gone? I don't know where the lid's gone to this. Oh, well. Someone's going to win 2 of my lovely stickers. Yeah, let's use this. Right, let's give these a good old shake. Shaker maker, shaker maker. And we will, of course, before the end of the show, be giving out some more raffle tickets for the next raffle, which will be on Sunday night. Sunday night, okay? Sunday night will be our next raffle. All right. Right, let's do this. Okay. Drum roll, please, everyone. Here comes the drum roll. Are you excited, Reese? Here it comes. Here comes the raffle ticket. Here's the new raffle tickets. Here now. I hope you've written down your numbers. It's number 200 and... Oh, there we are. Ticket number 287 to collection point A, please. Who is ticket number 287? 1 minute. Oh. Shouldn't lean over like that. Very dangerous. So these are now redundant, boys and girls. Never mind. Better luck next time, baby. Who's won? Come on, gang. Who's won? Who's won the raffle? Could it be you? Is it you? We got another 4 likes there. Okay, I need 3 more likes. 5, 26, 3 more likes on the show. Do you know how to do a like? Underneath the YouTube picture is a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Thumbs up is a like. Just click on that and it will increase the likes. 3 more likes and I'll show you my picture of when I was raving in the 1990s. And I must admit, I look quite delicious. I mean, not as delicious as I do now. I've certainly got my hair. But it is, I must warn you, it is a topless picture. Ah, they'll be all clicking away now. It's a topless picture. All right, there you go. Who's that then? Ticket number 287 to collection point A, please. That is the winner of our raffle tonight, my darlings. We're way up to date with all your text messages, so thanks very much for those. Who's won? Send your text now, 07451 287 337 to claim your 2 stickers, you lucky persons. All right. Now, did we get a text there from no, he might not be there now. Perhaps Sparky has disappeared. All righty. Okie doke. Gary Ross says, if I won your raffle, could you give George's nan the sticker? That nothing would give me greater pleasure. Nothing would give me greater pleasure. It really isn't. And Leslie Ross, why are you saying it's Gary, darling? What are you saying it's Gary? What do you mean, darling, it's Gary? What is Gary, darling? I hope you're not claiming the raffle prize. Because if you make a mistake, you know that you are aborted. Not literally. You would be aborted, my darling, okay? If you try and claim the raffle ticket and it's not yours. Don't try and do it on the off chance that you might have forgotten the number. Very dangerous thing to... Very danger! Warning! Danger! Warning! Danger! Oh, there we are. Warning! Danger! Danger! Don't worry if you can't claim it yet. Vera's just checked. She says, I can't check it until I get home. Don't worry about that. That's it. It doesn't get pulled again. If no one claims it, that's fine. No one claims it. That's the end of it. But I will read it out, of course, to our massive audience that we have in the morning now on our radio show. I don't know why any other radio stations choose to stay on there while I'm on. Everyone's listening to me now. Even Roman Kemp. He has me on a little earphone. So I've heard from the people at Capital Radio there, my darlings. All right. Okay, let's carry on then. What have we got? How much do you spend on school clothes? Parents, how much do you spend on school clothes? Now, I've seen some very good deals in various shops. The best, I think, probably Asda and Aldi. And you can get whole uniforms for like 10 quid. Trousers, like, I don't know, £4.99 or stuff like that. Because, of course, they're small people's items, and you can get children's clothes at a very reasonable price. Unless you're like this one here. In the Sun reporting, he's not spoilt, it says here. And the Sun reports, as children gear up for going back to school, are some of you back yet? Or is that happening soon? Reese, are you back at school yet? Are you back at school yet? Or is that happening later in the week or something? As kids gear up for going back to school, parents scout supermarkets to find deals on uniforms. Aldi offers a top-to-toe package for £4.50. How did they do that for that? There must be some really underpaid Indian workers somewhere in a sweatshop sewing stuff to get £4.50. Aldi offers a top-to-toe package of £4.50 and Asda sells school polos for around £1.25. Wow. But for some kids, off-the-rack clothes won't wash. Doris Russell has spent almost £2,000 on flashy school gear for son Charlie, who's 10. He loves high-end designers such as Tommy Hilfiger and Cotton Candy, as well as sports brands Nike and Adidas. Her biggest uniform buys were a Tommy Hilfiger coat, £120, and a Charlie's Nike Air Force One black school shoes costing £120. Now, you know how it is, parents, and you boys and girls as well. I know we have a lot of young people watching this. You know how it is with your shoes, okay? You go out there, kick a ball about, Maybe kick another pupil in the head occasionally. I don't. Yeah, you fall over and you scuff your shoes. £120. I have 2 pairs of shoes that were just over £100. Right? And I'm 58 years old. How is it someone is prepared to spend £120 on a child's pair of shoes, knowing that they're going to get damaged, grazed on the edges? You know, just because they're £120 don't mean they're not going to get scuffed at the back or the front or whatever. Nike Phantom football boots set her back £60 with Calvin Klein underwear, £80. Calvin Klein underwear? For children at school? 80 quid for a set of pants? This woman's off her head. White school shirts were £60, black trousers another 60. This lady, she's a foster carer and mother of 2 from Winbourne in Dorset, says Charlie, who was modelled for Adidas, Tommy Hilfiger and Zara, has got even more image conscious lately. He was a model for them and refuses to wear a regular PE kit. It's ludicrous. What do you mean he refuses to wear? You're his parent. Tell him to wear it. Ridiculous. Apparently, during lockdown, Charlie, that's the little boy, spent every day wearing designer gear, and getting him out of it has been harder than ever. He won't wear his approved shorts for PE and only likes Adidas ones that are £35 for a pair of shorts. 35 quid. And he wears £20 Nike t-shirts instead of the cheaper ones other kids wear. I mean, that's just mad. I'm lucky my other son likes Primark and doesn't care what he wears. It's a huge relief. Well, similar to me, really. Don't bother me. I like to buy quality stuff that will last. Most of the shirts that I have, incidentally, are years old. I mean, literally 20 years old, a lot of my shirts. But I spent the money at the beginning. Now, you can't say that's the same for children, because what was the age of that person? 10, 11? That person will grow out of those in a year. I'm not going to grow out of those unless I get even fatter than I am now. And I am trying to do something about it. It's not quite working, but I am trying to do something about it. It's the bread, you see. I've become addicted to bread again. Deadly, isn't it? I mean, it's just crazy. Would you spend money on child's school clothes like that? Would you? Or maybe you do. Maybe you do. I do understand some people would say, well, why shouldn't my children have the best? Well, yeah, okay, that's fair enough. But it's unnecessary. It's just wasting money. You could buy him something like that, you know. Something else. Perhaps a nice Christmas present or something like that. Some of your messages. George says, I've been working through the summer holidays. Excellent, excellent. Andy's here. Good evening, Andy. Didn't know you were broadcasting from Africa. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. That one, yeah. Love the background. What a week to be a Chris Reardon fan. 2 karaoke nights, which were a breath of fresh air. Your videos with Ronnie were hilarious. I'm glad you enjoyed them, Andy. I'm sure we'll think of something else at some point. Thank you, Andy. Gary Ross says, sounds like Katie Price spending money. It's mad, isn't it? Mad spending that lot of money. And here is a young person here, Reese, who's 11. He says, I don't care about my shoes. He says, they're really strict at my new school about the colours of coats and bags and things which all have to be black. Yes, understandably. But you don't need to spend that money on them. I had to say, where I went to school, I went to the London Oratory School, which is in Fulham. We were told to get our uniforms from Peter Jones. That was the advised. I think we had to get them from there. And I always remember my mum and dad taking me up there and being measured for a blazer and trousers, and you'd have to go in the dressing room or changing room and try all these things on. It's a funny thing, really, you know, when you're sort of 13 or 14, you don't appreciate these things at the time. I certainly do now. I can see my mum, and God knows what that cost. I had no idea. You didn't think about money then, really, when you're small, do you? Not really. It must have cost my mum a fortune. My dad, really. My man and dad a fortune to buy my school uniform from Peter Jones, which is in Chelsea. High-end shop, department store. Is that still there? I suppose it is, isn't it? Reese says, I'm going into high school now, and I know that the uniform was extremely expensive. I only have one blazer, and I know that even that was just one was expensive. I'm back Monday next week. He's back to school next week then. Yes, I think most people only had one blazer. I certainly only had, one blazer at a time, if you see what I mean. Obviously, as a small person, and you do grow out of these things. You're still growing, aren't you, at the moment? When you get older, you buy a jacket. Now, this has got to be 6 or 7 years old now. And this was a larger one, so it kind of I'm just in it at the moment. It's still got plenty of room in it, but my weight goes up and down a little bit. Sort of, it's like a stone and a half. I'm not quite 2 stone heavier than I should be, but I'm almost. I think I'm about 13. I think I'm 13.7 at the moment, and I want to be 12. Trouble is, Reese, when you get older, you lose a load of weight, and then people start asking you if you're sick or you're something wrong with you. He says, I don't care about my shoes as long as they're comfortable and I can easily be flexible and run and do sports in them. And he says, I don't care what I wear as long as it's me, and the design is always a bonus. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, to have just mad spending that amount of money on clothes, what she's doing there. John Paris says, talking of children, my youngest refused to get into an FSO car back in the 80s. And even if he did, he would hide it. He would hide when we drove into town. I mind you, as you know, those cars were crap. Well, I know, I had one. I had an FSO Polonaise. Awful car. Worst car I've ever had by far. Now, these were extremely, but you probably know this, John, these were very popular cars in places like Poland. But the problem with mine is that it would start coughing and choking in traffic. It could not cope with traffic. And it would be into the menders and they'd come out, we've cleaned the carburettor out. And it'd be exactly the same when I took it back. And I actually sold that. It was dirt cheap to buy brand new. I actually sold that car before I finished paying for it. Couldn't stand it any longer. I think I part exchanged it for I think it was an Escort at the time, a silver Escort, which was fine, But those FSO cars, the one I had was useless, and yet they were hugely popular in Poland. Maybe it's the difference in weather there. Mind you, it gets hot in Poland, but don't realise that. They think places like Poland and Slovakia, they never get hot. That couldn't be further from the truth. They can have some serious heat waves in those countries over there, can't they? Gary, I used to come back from school with holes in my trousers with tackling on the gravel football pitch. My mum would patch them up on the sewing machine with a bit of spare material. Yeah, mine too. I think my nan used to do all our sewing. She used to be quite handy with a needle and thread, my nan there. How do we do on likes? 26 likes. Oh, you're so close now. One more like and I'll show you the picture of me raving when I'm out somewhere, okay? One more like, that's all it'll take. Anyway, that's the money spent on school clothes. We'll open that phone line again now. 0208 144 3477 is my local London number. We will give out some more raffle tickets before the end of the show as well today. All right. Driver tricked by a man that's flashing. Now, this isn't quite like what it sounds. I've got a picture to show you. Another story from The Sun here. A prankster climbed inside a speed camera, which happened to be empty, and flashed his phone to tricks passing drivers to slow down. Let's just take a call. George is online. Good evening, George.
Good evening, Chris.
All right. Do you remember your school days, George?
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh, didn't you like them?
No.
Why is that then?
Because they used to be that strict. Used to everything I used to wear, I used to get in trouble for it.
What did you wear? Did you not wear the correct uniform then?
Yeah, the correct uniform, but I used to still get in trouble for it.
Oh, well, it must have been something wrong with it.
Well, what my nan used to buy the cheap ones from the shop, not the exactly dead the same from the shop, and I used to get in trouble because the teachers used to know the difference where they're actually the same.
Right. What school did you go to, George?
I went to different ones, actually. I went to Kinsalt Grove.
Yeah.
And I went to Northgate. And I went to the Beehive. Then from the Beehive, I went to Moulton College.
Yeah.
Now I'm at Workbridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have school dinners there when you were little?
Not in my primary school, but when I went to Northgate, yes.
Well, what were the dinners like? Were they nice?
They're fresh.
Nice and fresh, were they? What was your favourite school dinner, George?
The roast.
The roast dinners they used to do. Mine was spam fritters.
I don't like spam.
Oh, I used to love spam fritters. That was my favourite school dinner. We didn't have it very often, to be honest. And on a Friday, we always had fish. Piece of cod in batter. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, lovely school dinners we had. Couldn't complain at those at all, those school dinners.
Yeah.
All cooked on the site. Were yours cooked on site, or did they sort of ferry them in and heat them up somewhere? Or what did they do?
No, on site.
Oh, did they? Good.
Yeah.
Lovely, George.
You two. Those videos were funny.
Eh?
Those videos were you and Ronnie.
Yeah.
I was power laughing.
Well, I'm glad it made you laugh. That's the whole idea of it.
And by the way, the little bubble thing, that is called a spirit level.
Oh, it's a spirit level. Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, I call it just a little bubble thing. Spirit level. Can you believe my bird table is still standing up erect and straight?
Yeah.
I can't believe that hasn't leaned over at all.
It's a bit short, though.
I thought that as well. Interestingly enough, the actual blasted fly is somewhere. You know, I think these flies are coming out of the earth that's in the plant pots. I might give it a little spray with some insecticide. I've got fly killer downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that as well. But the birds, little birds, tits, they are flying and they seem to be quite happy. So presumably it's high enough. I was a bit concerned at that as well. But I do get squirrels and they go round and round trying to find a way to get up it. Evil things. I don't like squirrels.
I don't.
They bite your neck.
Yeah. I went to, because I live near a park. I do.
Right.
And I went to a park, and one of the walls said on here, do not feed the ducks bread.
Right.
What else? So that you have to feed them nuts, anything.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because a sign has appeared near a pond near me here, right?
Yeah.
Which says, please feed the ducks. What's happened is that people have heard that you shouldn't feed ducks bread. Now, I've heard this myself as well, but this sign says it's perfectly all right for you to feed birds bread as long as that's not all they get. That's what it said on the sign. Something like that. So I'm not quite sure. I've got to admit, I mean, I've fed birds and ducks for years. Bread that I didn't want. Well, I haven't been surrounded by dead ducks or birds yet. You know, so I don't know if that's actually true or not. Might have been one of those, like, things that people say and then people believe it, like these idiots that read everything they read on, they see on the internet, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if the ducks do get quite full up, you see bread floating in the water.
You see what?
Bread floating.
Oh
on
yeah.
the
They
water.
leave it. They only eat as much as they want, don't they?
But then it gets mouldy and it sours the water.
Oh, does it? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Does that? Yeah. Is that bad for your fishing? Is it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Cheers.
Ah. Okay. All right, George. Well, nice to talk to you tonight.
And you.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Bye, George. There we are, George. on the phone there. Nice to hear his little voice there. Back to this story then. A prankster climbed inside a speed camera and flashed his phone to trick passing drivers to slow down. And I've got a picture of that here somewhere. Where is it? Camera, man in camera. There's that bloody fly again. I can't get this fly. Oh, it's all right. I'll spray the room when I'm out. Look at him. He can't have been comfortable in that. It's like one of those blokes that the women that climb in the little boxes, isn't it? You know, they climb in a box and they have to escape. It looks like that, doesn't it? This bloke climbed up the 15-foot high, this camera was, while him and his wife Sarah were on holiday. The dad of two, he said he sat inside the camera's casing and flashed all passing motorists, no matter what speed they were doing, including one man in a mobility scooter. He said, we were waiting outside for pizzas when I noticed a hole in the back of the speed camera. At that point, I thought it would be a funny way of killing some time to climb up and flash the passing cars to see if they'd slow down. I just took a run up and managed to climb in. I was quite surprised the next day when I saw the speed camera that I'd managed it to be, honest. They laughed as they saw drivers hit the brakes after being flashed by the phone camera. This is the place in North Wales, which is completely pointless, to be honest. You see, if a camera has flashed you, too late. Too late. No point in slowing down. The camera has already got you. You might as well just carry on at warp speed to wherever you're trying to get to. Really? Sparky, I've just sent you your email with your link there, Mr. Sparky. Okay? Just sent you a link to your to the backdrop if you want to buy one yourself. Anyone else who'd like to buy one of those, I can send you the link, direct link to the actual site where it is. Just send us an email there, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, and I'll send you the link on there, all right? Reese says, just liked on my brother's account. Hopefully you're up to 27 now. Oh, yeah, I nearly forgot about that. We got 29 likes. All right. Are you ready, boys and girls? This is a good one. This is good. Now, remember, cover your eyes. It is topless. Not naked. I've just got no T-shirt on. This is how I used to... I think this deserves a drum roll, this picture. You ready for this? Okay. This is me raving in the 1990s. Here it is. No, it's not. September 2001. Okay, so nearly 1990s. There we go. Look at me. Off my head in a nightclub somewhere. How hot am I there? Look. That's what I used to look like. Can you see the resemblance? Shall I take my top off now and do that pose? Is that wise? So I'm really pleased about that. It says, was very nice meeting you. Take care, Theo. I don't know who Theo... So where was this? Because I've got a label on there as well. Number 10. I don't know what that is. I have no idea where this is. It's yes, I have. I know where this is. This was outside. I was DJing somewhere. It will be probably Italy. It'll probably be Italy. I was DJing somewhere outside in an amphitheatre. Right? Not all the time. There were other DJs there as well. And that's what that is. It's got to be Fun in the Sun 2001. IT. What's IT? Italy. It's Italy. It's Italy. Could be Sardinia, that. Oh, what a fantastic time we had as well. Look at that. There we go. Me raving in the 2001, that was. There you go. That was worth a like, weren't it? Oh, what a happy time. I do miss those days. So that would be 20 years ago, that picture. Can you believe that? Don't say yes. Please don't say yes. Pigs with me raving. John Parrish says, my mum, bless her, would buy used school uniforms for us boys to save money. If they were too big, she'd say, don't be silly, you'll grow into it. Bless her, wonderful lady. I'm sure you miss your mum, John. Same as I do. All the time, believe me. Every single night I miss my mother. And my father, of course. every single night. But my mum used to go to jumble sales. She'd go to jumble sales. And she'd bring an item home, wash it, that's it. You had a jumper for like 2 pence or something silly like that. Do you see jumble sales anymore? You know what killed jumble sales? Primark. Killed jumble sales. Why would you buy something second hand when you can buy it for virtually the same price? I mean, I don't know how much you'd spend at a jumble sale now. Presumably, you wouldn't now be able to get a jumper for 5 pence and a pair of trousers for like 10 pence. And at jumble sales, they used to have... Let me just write this down, hang on. Jumble sales, they used to have like professional jumble sale people who would turn up there and queue outside the front door. I kid you not. The jumble sales I used to go to, the main scout one, there's actually a lot of jumble sales there, was at a place called the Parish Hall in Roehampton. It was a big place, and this was, I think, owned by the Church of England. And the scouts I belonged to were Church of England. First Roehampton no longer exists, very sadly. What were we just talking about before that? Oh, the rave picture. Sorry, I'm just got to change the menu a bit when I finish the show today. These people would turn up at you must know this, John. They turn up at that jumble sale before it was open, so it would be maybe 2 o'clock it would start, the jumble sale. It was only open for 2 hours. And they'd be there at the front of the queue, and the doors would open, and they would run in. Professional jumble sale buying people would run in and grab all the good stuff before everyone else got in. They would literally run in the door. It was like a sale at Harrods, except nowhere near as much. And they'd just buy all the stuff. And you could buy everything in there. You were allowed to sell everything. You could buy electrical goods. Wouldn't be allowed now. Oh, has it been pat tested? Someone might touch it and die from an electric shock. You could buy everything. I bought record players in there. Valve-operated record players, radios, Bakelite ones, telephones, cups and saucers, other crockery, knives and forks. You could buy anything in a jumble sale. Children's toys and clothes. Hundreds and hundreds of items to wear. Dirt cheap, pennies, because they were all second hand. And what, for example, the scouts would do before the day of the jumble sale, you'd all take your stuff, and then volunteering ladies, they generally were ladies, there was a few blokes doing it, would turn up at the jumble sale to get ready, I don't know, 10 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was. And then they would sort the stuff out. Right, all the trousers on that table, all the jumpers on that table, the shirts over there, the toys over there, and this whole place. And the doors would open, and it would be packed with people buying this second-hand stuff. And yet people tell us, these university people tell us that we're the reason the earth's in such bad trouble with consuming of stuff. No, it's not, dear. There was no plastic. No plastic. We were reusing these clothes several times. We weren't buying something from Primark, wearing it once and then throwing it away. It was wonderful, and it worked very well. I haven't seen a jumble sale advertised for years. We would have several of these throughout the years. Not just us, the church would have a jumble sale. Catholic Church, I don't think they had jumble sales. The Catholic Church, St. Joseph, where I played the organ. They had a Christmas bazaar type thing. People would make their own little cards. Denise Andrews, who's with us sometimes, she makes her own Christmas cards and things like that. Beautiful things. And you go to the jumble sale and buy these things, or Christmas bazaar or something, and it'd be a fraction of the cost of what they... I mean, it was in the shop the other day, looking for a birthday card. Then I saw it was £3.50. £3.50 for a bit of cards. Are you for real? Can't remember who that was for now. Anyway, I didn't buy it. Why? £3.50 on a blooming card. It's outrageous. Anyway, yes, John, I know where you're coming from there. We used to have second-hand clothes. No problem. We weren't bothered by it. Grateful that mother had gone out and bought us something, Shoes as well, I think. There were no trainers then. We had plimsolls or shoes, didn't we? You remember, John? Plimsolls and shoes. Trainers didn't exist, Reese. I don't know if you know that. When we were boys, there were no trainers. They didn't exist. You had shoes or plimsolls or football boots. One of those, or all of those. That's all we had. And Wellingtons. Well, there's a pair of Wellingtons, didn't you, eh? Andy says, I used to love school dinners. Custard with skin on top. Do you like the pink custard? Custard with skin. Is that blancmange? No, that's not blancmange, is it? Was there a name for pink custard, or was it just called pink custard? Don't know. I used to love school dinners. Custard with skin on top was lovely, and I loved cabbage with all my main meals, so much that it became a nickname in the end. They used to call me Cabbage. Did they really? Well, you must have been the only kid I know who ever ate cabbage. I certainly didn't touch that stuff. The only vegetables I had were really baked beans. That's all I would eat. Now I'm quite happy to eat all sorts of vegetables, really. Reese says you look extremely drunk in that image. Well, maybe. Maybe, Reese. George says I still see car boot sales. Yes. They're kind of the same as jumble sales, aren't they? Except, of course, you're making money for yourself rather than for an organisation. So it's become a little bit more... I don't mean the word selfish, but, you know, a little bit more... You only do it for yourself. Whereas in the 1970s, we'd all get together and we'd be raising money for the organisation. In my case, the Scouts. We'd be raising money for Scouts so that when it come to camping time and all that, you know, that was all subsidised with money from the jumble sale. Or would pay an electricity bill in a Scout hut or something like that. And you'd all club together. You know, you'd all club together, and as I say, all these ladies and a few of the fellas as well, they'd turn up at the jumble sale a couple of hours before it started, sort out all the stuff, and it was a bit smelly. When I say smelly, it wasn't a dirty, like a musty smell, because all these different clothes, you know, which had been worn, presumably some of them hadn't been washed, but they weren't like dirty. They were really dirty, like they wouldn't go on sale. And you'd never, a lot of these professional jumble sales, you know, the professional jumble sale people buying the stuff, they'd be there. A pair of trousers. How much are these trousers? 5 pence. I'll give you 3 pence for them. And then, you know, you'd either, yeah, okay, or not. And all this money would be collected together at the end, and it would all go in a pot and be counted, and that would go into the general Scout funds. I don't think that happens anymore. I'm not sure that happens anymore. And it's a shame, really. You know, people don't want to kind of give up their time for the general goodness of everyone else, if you see what I mean. It's a bit selfish, the world nowadays. Even I have to say at the church, even now, you know. I mean, when I was a kid, St. Joseph's Church, as I say, and whatever work had to be done there you'd find a volunteer to do it, generally. I don't know so much about the painting or stuff like that, but, you know, there'd be a bloke that comes a couple of times to do the garden. His name was Stefano. I always remember Stefano. And I think he was Polish, and he used to come and look after the garden. No payment, mate. Just used to do it because he loved working for the church. You know, no one was paid to play the organ. The bloke who was playing it when I was a child, there was Mary. Now, she used to be the choir singer. She had a very high-pitched voice. And her sister, I beg your pardon, Nellie, she was the lady who sang. And there was Mary. She was a delightful old lady who used to play the organ. And then there was Mr. Kinsella. And then further down the line, me. Cleaning of the church was done by a rotation of elderly ladies who would come in whatever day, and it's my turn today, and do that and stuff. And all this was done by volunteers. Now you often find that the church has got to pay someone to play the organ or whatever. I mean, there's actually a website of what's it called? Philip Norman Organists or something like that. And you register with there, and each week jobs come. organist required Sunday, 3 hymns required, payment £50. Now, if I don't know what it is, but if my church said we're going to start paying the organist, I would refuse that payment. I just, it's something not right about that. But you always used to be able to get volunteers to do stuff for the grand scheme of things, whereas now it's very personal. People don't want to do something unless it benefits them. Bit like the litter collecting, I suppose. People, I'm sure that no one's ever said this to me. No one has ever said this to me, except friends. Okay, I've just dropped my thing on it. Why do you do it, Chris? Because I don't want to live in a dump. I must admit I hadn't done the road sort of going up to the main road from here. Hadn't done that for a week or so, and honestly, the amount of crap that I picked up in the last couple of days, dreadful. I've done two large sacks this week. But there's a few of us doing it. Sadly, it does seem to be elderly people or older people. There's no one sort of... I've never seen a millennial doing it. Never ever seen a millennial doing it. They're not very popular people, but I'm sorry if you're a millennial, but you're not really that popular. I've never seen a millennial. It all tends to be people over the age of 50s. Now, you could argue the fact that people perhaps don't have time to do it. Well, they seem to have time to do it in the 70s. My mother used to clean down. We lived in a council block, and once a week, someone, whoever's turn it was in that block, would wash down all the balconies. Literally with a stiff broom, and they'd go right along their side, and then someone on the other side. It was only 5. And as time went on, less and less people did it, which meant the people that did it more often, until I think my mother was the last one cleaning the stairs. Now no one does it, so what happens? The council have to send someone out to do it. And of course, where do you think that money comes from? Comes from your council tax. That goes up a little bit more each year, doesn't it? Well, you want these things. No one wants to do anything for the benefit of others anymore. It's a shame. That's what the jumble sales are all about. Reese says, I'm weird compared to my friends. I do like sprouts and cabbage and broccoli and things like that. Well, I eat all those things. I'm not too keen on sprouts, really. I will eat them. I'm not keen on them. Perhaps, maybe I should find a sort of recipe, something to put with the sprouts or something. And I'll tell you what I do like, Reese, pepper potato. So I make my potatoes. Sometimes I use smash, okay, because it's cheap. There's a place up north, up in Lincolnshire rather, called the Tin Shop. And you can get packets of smash, dirt cheap. I mean, really cheap there, because they're just about to go out of date. And I buy those and I'll mix those up. Is this the same fly that keeps... maybe I'm just not getting this fly. Where is it now? It's a tiny little fly. You probably haven't seen it. You can't see it. But yes, I'll make up my mash and I'll have the pepper like that and then sprinkle the pepper on it. Mix it all together and add water. Lovely. Really nice. Anyway, that's Jumble Sales. Gang, let's do the raffle tickets now. The next raffle will be next Thursday night, okay? Next Thursday night will be the next raffle. If you'd like the chance to win... is it going to be stickers again? Have I got something else here? Ooh. Look what I've got here. Ooh. I seem to have one left over from last year. How about one of those? Fridge magnet from last year, which I have discovered. Ooh, hello. Fridge magnet. A surprise next week. A fridge magnet. Who wants one of these, eh? Stick to anything metal. I just came across this the other day, all right? If you'd like to win that, you'll need a raffle ticket. Ask now. You can ask by text message or email only. If you're watching a recording, I'm afraid it's not available to you. This is only for the people who are with us live, okay? With the raffle tickets, you can also get a raffle ticket in my radio show, which is every morning. There it is there. I think that might be the wrong date there. Oh, no, it says Thursday there. Thursday there, okay. I'll be back on there tomorrow morning at just after 9 o'clock. At some point in the show, I will say who wants a raffle ticket, and then you have 10 minutes to ask for a raffle ticket. No use asking after the 10 minutes, okay? You only get 10 minutes to ask, okay? So that's tomorrow morning. Indeed, every radio show, you'll be able to get yourself a raffle ticket, and also every video show. When I say who wants a raffle ticket, ask now. So we'll do that now, all right? Let's see if I can sort these numbers out here, because they were a little bit wrong earlier, wasn't it? Right, okay. Here we go then. Raffle ticket for Jason Hughes, ticket number 335 for you, Jason. Jason Hughes, ticket number 335. All right. There you go. They might be out of order, these. Let's see. Jason Hughes, there you go. In our little ticket retention unit. Thank you. Sherry Parish, ticket number 336. Thank you, Sherry. Diane Jebb, ticket number 337. Thank you, Diane. Reese, ticket number 338. Thank you, Reese. John Parrish, ticket number 339. Now, John, got to tell you, won the 2 stickers a couple of weeks ago, and he sent in a picture of the sticker on his car. There it is there. That's one of the older stickers. That's the little ones. I have little ones and big ones. I've only got one. I think I've only got a couple of little ones left, or even only one. That's the little stickers, so they're a little bit different from the big ones. But he's got an Audi. Who knew? I didn't know he had an Audi. Ooh. John Parrish has got an Audi. That's that one, you see, the little one. There's the little one. And there's the bit. They're 2 different sizes, you see. I think I've only got one small one left. All right, they're 2 different ones. They're the ones I'm giving away at the moment. Someone's won 2 of those. So John Parrish, ticket number 339. Thank you, John. Tony King, ticket number 340. Thank you, Tony. Gary Ross, ticket number 341. Thank you, young Gary. Tony King, Gary Ross. There's our Gary. Thank you. There's our Vera. Vera is in the house. Ticket number 345 for you, lovely Vera in London. Thank you, Vera. If for some reason your text doesn't come through in time, that's just how it is, I'm afraid, okay? All right? Sometimes it gets stuck somewhere. Sometimes the time comes through, so I'm able to do that for you. But generally, you only get 10 minutes to ask, especially in the morning. Fran Greenish, there's our Fran. Ticket number... Did I do Vera? Vera, ticket number 342. Fran Green, ticket number 343. Rachel Wheatland, ticket number 344. In actual fact, we don't actually get that many people ask for tickets in the morning compared to the chat show, okay? But if you are there in the morning, wait till you hear me say, anyone want a raffle ticket, and then ask as quick as you can, all right? There's our Mark Bowles. Oh, Mark. How are you tonight, eh? Still looking as delicious as you always look. I wish you was an ice cream. I wish you was an ice cream, I do. Evening, Mark Bowles. He's been at darts tonight. Evening to you, Mark. And Maureen... Ticket number 345 for Maureen. Anyone else want a raffle ticket? Please ask now. If you want a raffle ticket and you haven't had one yet, please ask now. The prize this week is one of our fridge magnets, which I've found. Okay, I didn't know I had any of these left. This is from last year, as you can see. All right. We didn't have any done this year because we were a bit short of cash. Okay. What with lockdown and all that. They may return next year, the fridge magnets. I don't know yet. We'll have to see how things go, all right? All right, so that's what we're giving away, this fridge magnet. If you haven't asked yet and you haven't got your raffle ticket yet, ask now. You must say ticket, please, or something like that. All right, otherwise I'll think you don't want one. So who else wants a raffle ticket? Lines are now... Oh, hang on, we've got a lines closed tone as well now. No more phone calls tonight. Lines are now closed. Sorry. If you call now, you'll get an answer machine and no one will answer. How disappointed would you be? So don't call now. Don't want to put yourself through all that disappointment, all right? Right, anyone else want a raffle ticket? Be quick. Be very quick. I'm putting these in here now. Be very quick if you want a raffle ticket. Ask now, my darlings. How are we doing on there? Let's have a quick look there. We've done that. Let's just do one more story tonight because I want you to see this. There's Mark Bowles. Give me one bitch. You only had to ask and you could have one, Mark. You know that, darling. 346 for Mark Bowles. Just a moment. Let me just write out your raffle tickets. There we are. Okay, do you mind, Mark Bowles and Chris? Do you mind? I'm starting to practice, Mark, now. You know when we start sending Christmas cards together, sort of thing. It needs to be signed Mark and Chris. There you go. So there we are, Mark Bowles and Chris. Ticket number 346. Oh yes. Mark had a nice little weekend. He's had his 2 little boys over, both of them at the same time. Did you buy that cattle prod I told you about to keep them under control? Did you? Leslie Ross, thank you, Leslie. Ticket number 347, you lovely lady. Thank you, Leslie. Leslie Ross, ticket number 347. All right, there you go, darling. Hello to Adam the plumber. Hello, Adam. Adam's there. My stickers are framed in the Chris Reardon shrine. He's got a shrine to me. Adam the plumber. He's got an actual shrine. He said, talking of Scout Jumble sales, when I was in the Scouts a few years ago, I had my favourite jacket with me. Unfortunately, I put it down and it ended up in the Jumble sale. Do you know, I bet that used to happen a lot. I bet that happened a lot. 2 years later, when I was collecting Jumble sale donations and sorting them out, guess what? You guessed it, my coat came back. I was so happy, and I know it was mine, as it had a small rip inside the lining. I'm hoping to get a small rip inside my lining from Mark Bowles at some point, but there we go. Thank you. Anyone more? Last chance for raffle tickets. Ask now. I'm going to finish off with this little story, which isn't so much a story. Now, I can't see myself ever moving, but that doesn't mean I still look. And I still look at houses in Lincolnshire, which is where my sister and her family do. You see, I just think I'd be bored. I think I'd be bored. My window cleaner, my ex-window cleaner, Mark, is a lovely bloke. He's the son of Pearl, who lives 3 doors down. And he recently moved. Remember I told you this time last year, I think it was, he moved to Spain with his missus. The children have grown up now. They've kind of gone their own way. And he's I think he's a bit younger than me, maybe 54, something like that perhaps. Or maybe even a little bit, maybe 52 or even 50, I don't know. But anyway, him and his missus sold their place here. They bought a lovely place in Spain. Swimming pool. On a mountain. You know, in a little village where no one speaks English. They bought this place in Spain. There's a little swimming pool. He's got chickens. He's got garden, like growing food and stuff like that. For 100 grand less than what his house cost here. And he loves it. But he's got someone with him. Do you see what I mean? I would love to do something like that. But I'm on my own and I don't see that ever changing. To be honest. Yeah, you never say never. I know that. But, 58, there's still not anyone here yet. It's just how it is. And I think to move to Lincolnshire, I would need someone to come with me. Not necessarily even another half. But I would need someone to come with me. And I still look at houses up there, and there's a couple, you know, when you walk past them, I wonder if that'll ever come up for sale. Do you ever sort of think like that? And there's one up there, and it's right on the river. Now, I've always said you shouldn't really buy anything near a river, and especially rivers that you know get almost like overflowing. And believe me, the River Witham, which is the river near my caravan, has been at the top on many occasions since I've had my caravan there, right? But it's never actually come over. And Sylvie, who is queen of all caravans, told me it hasn't flooded there for 75 years. So, don't know. Nevertheless, this house has come up. It's a bit more than I wanted to pay, right? I would certainly have the value of this house here, this ex-council end terrace 3-bed, okay? This would not cover the cost of the new house. So I'd have to either mortgage or sell something else. You know I'm a landlord. I've got a few places and that, right? I could sell one other place and then I'd have money left over, right, for this particular place. And it went on the market on the 12th of August. So it's been on there now a month. So they're probably ready for an offer now if they haven't sold it already. The house, as I say, is right next to the river. And I really wanted to show you this. So have a look at this, boys and girls. Look at this. There it is. It's an old school property. It was a school place once. For one person, far too big. Far too big. Although I'm in a 3-bedroom house. This isn't too big. Right? I've got 5 pictures to show you. Look at that garden. And it's got an outhouse as well. And if you just look to the left at the back there, after your garden is fields. Another one here. Here's the kitchen. Now, no, it's I think it's the utility room. Now, I'm sure you'll agree with me. It's not in the best of state of repairs. But you see, perfect brand new kitchens are all very nice. But that sort of thing doesn't bother me. And perhaps you should listen to that, Mark. I mean, how many times have you had to buy your missus a new kitchen or a new sofa? Don't bother me, mate. As long as you're there, I'm happy to sit in a cardboard box like a cat. And now and again, I can stroke it for you. Picture number 4. Look at that garden. Wow. I'd have to get one of those little ride-on lawnmowers, wouldn't I? And as you can see, behind the garden is just a field. Now, my sister looked at this. I said, have a look at this, Shaun. She said, she said, I'd probably sell half the garden to get some money for it. And I thought, no. Oh, you can see a bird table. I just see a bird table in the middle there. Can you see it? Look at that. Mark, this could be our house, Mark. One more picture. That's the kitchen there, isn't it? Kitchen cum dining table. That's all right. I mean, looks like... Is that lino on the floor there? But that doesn't bother me. As I say, looks a bit dated, but that's no problem. Doesn't bother me. As long as the rain don't come in. Anyway, that's the house. I really wanted to show you that. It's beautiful, isn't it? Eh? Thank you for your message, Mark. Another one I can't read out. Anyway, it's nice, isn't it, eh? But, like it here. It's really difficult. Really difficult. And I'd have to sell something else as well. Anyway, I think we'll wrap up the show there. Thanks ever so much for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and it's nice to be back again. I did feel a little bit at odds, not able to do anything while the computer was broken. But working now. Working even better than it was before, actually. I'll be back on the radio tomorrow morning, gang. reachonair.com. There you go. All right, do join me just after 9 o'clock for my show music and chat. And I will be playing tomorrow morning the 2 brand new ABBA tracks, okay, in tomorrow's show. Gary Ross just texts in there. You could run a bed and breakfast there or renovate the outbuildings as holiday flats. No, I wouldn't want people around me. I wouldn't want that. But I just think I'd be incredibly lonely there. I mean, at least here I've got my neighbours. You come out and you walk past them and we often stop and talk and stuff like that. But I think I'd be too lonely there, really. Anyway, thanks for joining us. The next chat show will be for you on Sunday night, boys and girls. All right, Sunday night. I think, what is it, Thursday night? Alan Ross isn't on the radio tonight, is he? No, nothing else to tell you then. Thanks for watching and listening. Thank you, all of you that took the time and trouble to do the thumbs up thing and like the show underneath the little square box. I'll see you again tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, reachonair.com, or Sunday night for our next chat show at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.